Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Remo. I know some of y'all hurried up and clicked on this video because you saw that thumbnail, right? Yo, the chick in this thumbnail, she lost her EBT card and she couldn't fucking find it. So she was looking all outside in the backyard, all up and down the driveway, all in the front yard, all in the bushes. She has she was in them thorn bushes. You know the rose bushes with the thorns, the long ass thorns. She was in them bushes barefoot looking for her car and couldn't fucking find it. so so she got tired and crashed. She went to bed and crashed like that. She woke up the next day and called the Department of Social Service, and they told her she was going to have to wait a couple of weeks to get a new one. So she got mad and went back outside with the same dirty feet she had from yesterday and went back outside looking for it and still couldn't fucking find it. But y'all, yeah, y'all, it's cold. Yo, I don't know where y'all at, but it's cold around here. Yo, I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about black women having the worst attitudes and being the worst to date. Now, this don't apply to every black woman in America, but it sure enough applies to some, and not all black women are the same. Not all black females are created equal. It's just the dating pool is tainted right now. It's more like a cesspool. I know because, I've recently been researching the dating pool, if you will. I've been scrutinizing the dating pool, and the waters are pretty muddy, Yeah, but I think a lot of it got to do with their attitudes. Not all are the same. I live on a block where there's a lot of married couples, and like I told you on the last video, I've been here 10 years, but I've been in this neighborhood way longer than that. And a lot of the black couples that live in this neighborhood been here 20, 25, 30 years, and they've been married, 20, 25, 30 years. So I said that to say this: all the good, well-to-do black women, they're all married. They're taken. Once you get a good black woman who can cook and who play her part, it's hard to get rid of her. Ladies, because I got a lot of black female followers. Ladies, a way to a man's heart is, you already know, it's to his stomach. You can cook soul food real good. Hey, she's a keeper. That's how we look at you. All you got to do is just, don't run your mouth so much. I mean, ain't no perfect relationship. You always, you're always going to have disagreements and arguments and, debates. But hey, always agree to disagree in the end. That's how me and my wife stayed together for so long. And then I'm the type of person, I say what I gotta say, and that's that. You can keep talking. I tune you out after a while. I'll come in here, turn on the baseball game, or turn on the basketball game, whatever. I tune you out. That's why all my relationships lasted for so long. So yeah, but it's hard to find a good woman now. I don't know if it's the culture or the music or what. I don't know. But a lot of them got real bad attitudes. I was in Popeye's Chicken last summer, and I wanted to order some chicken strips, and the black chick behind the counter was like, "We ain't got no more." I said, "Well, let me get some shrimps." She was like, "We ain't got no more scripts and scrimps." I was like, "Huh? What the fuck is scripts and scrimps?" She said, "We ain't got no more scripts and scrimps, didn't you?" I said, "What the fuck are they? What the fuck, what?" She was like, "Chicken scripts and scrimps. That's what you asked for." I said, "Yeah, we ain't got no more." That's what I said. We ain't got no motherfucking more. I said, "Okay, all right." So she said scripts and scrimps. That threw me off. I'm like, "Where the fuck you from? You non-talking motherfucker?" And then I walked out, and as I was walking away, she said, "Next, can I help you?" And it was a white guy standing behind me. And then she started talking to him professionally. I'm like, "Damn, that's fucked up." But hey, that's the way of the world. That's the type of world we living in. Yeah, that was messed up. And then a couple of months ago, like back in November, I went to McDonald's and I ordered a 20-piece chicken McNugget with hot mustard sauce. And they only gave me one pack. One pack of hot mustard sauce with 20 nuggets. How the fuck that's going? What? That means I would have to lightly dip each nut. Nah, man, you're supposed to at least get 3. Sometimes they give you 4. And then the black chick behind the counter, oh, you're gonna have to pay for extra. I'm like, how is it extra when you're supposed to get at least 3? You know? Shit. I said, what, for a 4-piece, y'all don't get nobody no sauce? She was like, nah, for any piece nugget you get, you only gonna get 1. You're gonna have to pay. I was like, where's the manager? The manager on a coffee break. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. All right. You can always use ketchup. We got ketchup. If you're not, man, I don't like ketchup on my chicken nuggets. I want hot mustard sauce. I want dipping sauce. No fucking ketchup. Fuck out of here. Kiss my ass. Then had attitude. I'm like, man, this shit don't make no sense, man. It's at the point now where I can look at somebody, I can look at a black female and tell that she's gonna be a problem. It's sad, but it's true. And a lot of them are just straight up masculine and just mad for no fucking reason. But then when they see a white person, they treat him like Jesus Christ. Oh, Lord. Oh, bless you, Lord. Oh, bless me. Bless my heart, Lord. I'm like, yeah, they be like, oh, Jesus wept. Oh, Lord. I'm like, yo, it should be the other way around. But am I right or wrong? Nah, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger. But, yeah, I was at work yesterday. No lie. Yesterday I was at work and, we had two people in the lobby, and what I got to do is go around and make sure ain't nobody just trying to hang out and get warm, because we have a lot of homeless people. We get a lot of homeless people that'll come in there and sit in the lobby, get warm. And you think they waiting on somebody or they waiting on an appointment or something, and they ain't waiting on nobody. They just sitting there getting warm. So it was 2 people. It was 2 ladies, 1 Asian and 1 black chick. So when I got there, I asked the Asian lady. I said, ma'am, are you got an appointment? Are you waiting? Do you have a ticket? She was like, yeah. She pulled out her paperwork. She showed, I said, oh, okay. She was like, yeah, I got a 2:00 appointment and blah, blah, blah. She was like, I came here yesterday. I said, okay, ma'am. All right. Okay. She was like, yeah, is everything all right? I was like, yeah, I'm just doing my job. We got to check, to make sure ain't nobody just hanging out. She was like, oh, okay. She was very, very friendly. Asian lady. I don't know if she was Filipino or Vietnamese or whatever, but she was real nice. And she was good looking. So I went over and asked the black chick. Now, the black chick heard me ask the Asian lady all these questions. I went over to the black chick and asked her the same thing. I said, you got an appointment? Why? I said, well, we just got to make sure everybody that's in this lobby, is here for a reason, and not because of the season. She was like, yeah, I'm here for a reason. I was like, can I see your paperwork? It's in my purse. You want me to go through all my personal belongings? I got to go through my purse and blah, blah. I said, yeah, ma'am. I said, if you don't mind. I said, is that a difficult task? Nah, I got things in my purse a certain motherfucking way, and you come out. I said, well, you just heard me ask the Asian lady. I said, why are you getting an attitude? I was like, she was nice to me. She was like, well, I had a long day. I've been in here since. I'm like, okay. So she started going through her purse, taking out tissue, cough drops, Werther's caramel, Werther's candy, and she was taking out them honey, them old mints, them dinner mints, and those honey candies that grandmas used to have, butterscotches and peppermint candy. She would start pulling them out of her purse. I'm like, damn. I said, you got to go through all that just to find your appointment slip? She was like, yeah, I just told you. And then when she found it, it was all balled up. I was like, damn. I said, what has been in your purse for 3 months? She was like, nah, I just had a lot of shit. I told you. I was like, damn. I was like, I thought you had something like that in your pocket or, in your wallet or something. You know what I'm saying? It was like an appointment slip, like a card. They give you a card and they write it. And it was way in the bottom of her purse on top of a bunch of garbage. I started to say, damn, bitch, clean out your fucking purse. Stay off your phone. That's another thing. These chicks live sloppy. You know what I mean? They cars be all fucked up. You got to move shit out the way. I remember one time this chick gave me a ride home from work, and I got in the passenger seat, and it was a bra on the floor. No, it was a chick that lived next door to me with the big TTs. Yeah, she had a bra in her front seat. I told you all about that story. Yeah, look up the story called The Big TT Tenant. Yeah, I think she was giving me a ride to work or to the gas station or somewhere. She had a big ass bra sitting in her passenger seat. I thought it was a goddamn fishnet. It was green too. It looked just like a fucking fishnet. I was like, damn. What kind of Hanes her wear is this bullshit? But yeah, y'all, black women got the worst attitudes, y'all. And they the worst to date. The dating pool is a cesspool, y'all. I was talking to this one chick yesterday, and not yesterday, last week, and I had been knowing her since I was a teenager. I dated her when I was like 17, and she moved to Phoenix, Arizona, so we lost contact. And so we reconnected a couple of months ago when she heard, like last month we reconnected, and she heard that my wife passed away, and she sent her condolences. And so I texted her on New Year's. I wished her a happy New Year's. I didn't hear from her until maybe like a week ago, and we started texting and stuff, reminiscing. And she had two kids, which I didn't know of. She had two teenage, kids, one boy, one girl. I think 13 and 12 and 14 or something like that. And she was telling me that she didn't want anybody around her kids, and I said, "Yo, I respect that." She was like, she said that it's a lot of crazy people in this world. I said, "Yo, I totally, I agree." Especially when you got daughters. And then I asked her, I said, but your daughter 14, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, well, shit, she old enough to fight and tell, you know what I mean? And I said, you shouldn't limit yourself from finding a good man. I was like, it ain't like your daughter 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I said, she at the age where she can grab a hammer and knock a nigga out. She was like, yeah, but I don't want nobody around them. I don't want them getting to know no man. I said, oh, okay, all right, bet. She was like, I don't want them to have no stepdaddy. They got a real daddy. He come and get them on the weekends. I said, okay, all right, yeah. So then she asked me, how was my dating life going? And I said, I've been looking, I still haven't found anything yet. I'm on Facebook dating. And I said, I've been getting hit up by a lot of white women, which, some of them look good, but, I haven't found the right one. I just been looking. And she was like, oh, so you on a dating app? I said, yeah. She was like, oh, you ain't tell me all that. I was like, I just told you. What the hell? She was like, you ain't tell me when we first started texting each other. I was like, you didn't ask. And then she was like, well, what am I? I said, we just friends. And she was like, well, stop sending me random texts. I was like, whoa, where's all this coming from? She was like, because we was texting like we had a future or something. I was like, you just said you didn't want nobody. I said, you had told me a week ago you didn't want nobody around your kids. She was like, Remo, you were the exception. I said, how the fuck was I supposed to know? I said, I can't read minds. I ain't got no fucking crystal ball. How the fuck was I supposed to know? She was like, you didn't get it? I said, no, I didn't get it. I said, you should have corrected me or stopped me in my tracks when I said, I respect that. I said, when you first told me how you felt about your kids being around another man and having a stepdaddy, and I said, I respect that, I totally agree. You should have said, well, you're the exception. You didn't say nothing, I said, so, what's up with the hostility? She was like, so what are we? Are we just friends? She was like, because I ain't here to entertain nobody. And I said, yeah, we just friends. And she was like, well, okay, have a nice life. I'll call you later, maybe in the future. I said, okay, bye. Stupid black woman who moved from New York to Phoenix and still got that dumbass New York attitude. Want everybody to read your fucking mind. Shit. She was confused. Shit didn't make no fucking sense, man. Then the Asian at work, the Asian lady treated me better than the black chick. You know what I mean? Like, damn, you see, here I am in full uniform, and you acting like I'm asking you your personal blood type, or you act like I'm asking to sleep with your mama or something. I don't understand. Bad attitudes makes the dating pool a fucking swamp pool. I don't know what this. Shit. The only thing I can do is wait on the Lord to send me the woman who I want. I'm gonna have to do like Adam. I'm gonna have to say, Lord, all the animals got mates. Can you make me? I'm gonna have to ask the Lord to make me a mate, like how the Lord made Eve. I'm gonna say, here, Lord, here's one of my ribs. Make me a mate. Yeah, y'all. Thanks for listening, y'all. Yo, I'm looking at the news right now, and 30,000 people just got laid off from UPS. Damn, I hope some of y'all don't work at UPS, man. Shit. They get rid of the minorities first. They say, oh, we go by seniority. No, they go by the minorities. Ain't nobody stupid. 30,000. Oh, shit. Today, it's the 40th anniversary of the Spaceship Challenger. Y'all remember the spaceship Challenger in 1986? Damn, 40 years ago. I was a kid when that happened. I remember talking about that in school. I think I was in like second grade. Yeah, they was talking about damn. That was, and I think it was a black person on the Challenger, and I remember people saying, "Oh, it was because they had the nigger on there." That's the reason why. Nah, it was a mechanical error. It ain't had nothing to do with the one Negro they had on there. It was a mechanical error. Damn, 40 fucking years ago. Damn, we getting old, y'all. Remember Prince said it? He mentioned that in that song, Sign of the Times. He was talking about the spaceship Challenger. He said, "It's silly to know when a rocket ship explodes, everybody still wants to fly. Some say a man ain't happy unless a man truly dies." Oh, y'all get the picture. All right, peace, y'all. 100.